With high temperatures come high electric demand. That electric demand is what we're talking about today. David Kinchin, Chief Operating Officer with Energy Ogre, is here to share easy ways to help us reduce our energy use. This is something a lot of us want to be cognizant about and, of course, help our neighbors when it comes to reducing that energy.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously super hot outside, and as people have seen, we're getting some alerts from ERCOT.
Yeah.
So people are at times asked to conserve, and there's times to conserve for the grid, and then there's times to conserve because, people are worried about their bills, or they're trying to, just avoid using more electricity.
Let's talk about this. How can Houstonians help prevent tight grid conditions?
Sure, so those are really specific things. ERCOT will send out an alert and say, like, from these specific times, if you could use less electricity. But for ERCOT, a lot of the times it means using electricity at different times. So let's say you're running your pool in the morning and not running it in the afternoon, you would help the tight grid conditions because you're not using a big load like your pool pump at that time. Or if you were going to run your dryer, you could run it during the morning or evening and not at that peak time, and it would also not throw all that heat into your house and more tax your AC. You could push your dishwasher off, you could try to do laundry. So kind of pushing that load outside of those hours is the most helpful. It's not really like not using, it's like moving it.
Yeah, oh, that's really great perspective and good to keep in mind when you are planning your day on what you want to do, when you want to do it, that sort of thing. I know there's been an increase when it comes to solar farms in Texas and state producers this state produces the most wind. How does this help with demand?
So Texas is easily the largest wind producer. We've seemed to kind of max that out a little bit, like wherever we could build, we built. But for solar, we've been adding huge amounts more. I think last year we added, maybe 3,000 or 4,000 megawatts, depending on the timing. Yesterday, maybe at a real peak time, we were doing 12,000 megawatts total out of the 85,000 we needed. And next year, we're going to add another 4,000 or 5,000 megawatts of solar. So percentage-wise, those are huge amounts of increase in generation. And the good news is for solar, like the hottest part of today, solar is generally producing the most. So solar is very helpful for those very, very hot times.
Today in the past 3 weeks, right?
For sure.
And probably the 3 weeks moving forward,
probably
too.
a bit while.
Yeah. For more tips, suggestions for people wanting to be aware, how can they go about finding out more information on doing just that?
So I think there's places where people can go. We have on Energy Ogre, we have some blogs that talk about energy conservation. It's more about how to use less electricity, to save on your bill. But there's a lot of tips like, turning off lights. People go, oh, is that making a big difference? But I mean, over the month it can. If you're using your dishwasher and you don't use that heated dry button, that ends up being quite a bit of power that you're not using. You can turn on a fan if you're in a room. It doesn't cool the room, and so you got to turn the fan off if you leave the room. But those are things that kind of keep you a little bit cooler. Everybody wants to talk about, turning your AC way up. And the problem is you do that in these conditions, and then, it's hot when you go to bed, and it's hot till like 3 a.m. or whatever.
And then it's working overtime. Yeah. Okay, everything starts with a conversation. We appreciate you having this conversation with us this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you.